Didn't want Little 500 weekend to end? Relive the races with stories from both Friday and Sunday.
Also, we have riders from the winning team of both races in studio. Riders from SIGEP and Theta will join us later on.
Plus, Yogi Ferrell made the long-awaited announcement about his future on Sunday. Hear why he decided to return to Bloomington for his senior year. All that and more coming up on the school year's final episode of Hoosier Sports Night.
Welcome to the final Hoosier Sports Night of the school year. I'm Josie Gianavicius alongside my fellow sports director, Sarah Beeson. And Sarah, it was the weekend that Indiana waits for all year, Little 500 weekend.
That's right, Josie. Unfortunately, though, there's some predicted rain to be on Saturday, some storms, so the men's race was postponed Friday night to be on Sunday.
Definitely changed the weekend up a lot. Sigma Phi Epsilon started off race day in second position in the front row after a great qualification last month. On Sunday, SIGEP bested that runner-up spot as they were able to edge out Black Key Bulls by less than half a second at the finish line. Brandon Farkas has more on the team's victory.
It was a photo finish on Sunday at Bill Armstrong Stadium for the 65th running of the men's Little 500 race. Sigma Phi Epsilon was able to take home its third championship in team history, in large part to senior Nick Torrance in his final lap, which was the team's quickest lap.
Well, it was close coming around. I thought I had it. I wasn't sure. When I got to about here, I heard them announce something. I couldn't hear it, and then I saw our fans start going nuts.
Incredibly close finish. Obviously, watching Nick come around turn 4, neck and neck with BKB across that finish line. We had no idea. I had my fingers crossed. Nick actually gave us like a little bit like a pinch. He's like, it was close. We stood there, we were looking around, waiting for the call, and they said SIGEP, and that's when I knew it is insane. It was unreal. It still hasn't really hit me yet. You work so hard. Everyone has this fantasy of winning, but for that actually to come true is insane.
I mean, this little 5, nothing you write down is going to happen exactly how it goes. We've tried to prepare for a couple scenarios. We weren't really expecting Delta 10 to try and break away, but we knew what we needed to do in the sprint, and Nick was able to go out there and get it done for us.
While this may have been the senior captain's final race wearing the SIGEP cycling jersey, Torrance has left behind a great legacy, and one that will help the team for its future.
Nick has absolutely built this program as well as the senior captain last year, Thomas Swimmer. I think 3 years ago he came in 12th, and then 4th, and now 1st. So it's been unreal, and I think the program's come a long way, and it's going to continue that. So we hope to continue this legacy next year, obviously, but we're loving it right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is the third in the history of SIGEP, and we got back on campus in 07. We really haven't had a strong bike program. I really credit Nick for helping to build up his program to where it is. A couple other alumni too really helped out, and we hope to have a strong team in the future too. So just kind of keep it going.
This is huge. Our names are going down in history books now, right? I guess it's 4 years of hard work. I don't know. I don't know. It's bike race. It's just bike racing at the end of the day.
From Bill Armstrong Stadium, I'm Brandon Farkas, Hoosier Sports Night.
Here to talk more about winning the 65th Men's Little 500 race is Nick Torrance of the SIGEP cycling team, the winners of the 2015 Borg-Warner Trophy, who joins Sean Nash in studio. Sean?
I'm here with Sigma Phi Epsilon Little 500 rider Nick Torrance, part of the championship team from Sunday. Nick, first of all, thanks for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, you guys went down early in the race, and it was a race, only one full course caution and came late in the race. How tough is it to make up that gap back to the lead group when you guys go down early and you don't really have those cautions to help slow up the pace at all?
It was definitely tough. We were about a half lap down after the wreck. It was still pretty early in the race, so a lot of guys were fresh and able to keep pushing the pace. We had to run through 3 of our riders just to get back, basically just giving it our all out there to, try to get back in the pack. But yeah, ended up making it, obviously.
And the one full course caution came with about 40 laps to go. It happened in turn 4, but before that there were still 16 teams on the lead lap. Are you surprised that there were still that many teams riding in the lead pack?
I am surprised. It was a tough race. It was pretty windy out there, and especially with just how fast the race was. I was surprised that there were that many teams still on the lead lap. But like you said, it was a pretty safe race. Not that many teams went down, so I would say that's the reason.
Of course, Nick, you were on the bike at the end of the race, winning by just 0.024 seconds, less than half a wheel length. A little bit of a curveball here. If that was lap 199, do you think you had enough in the tank to make it around another lap and still hold on to the victory?
No. I've watched the video a couple times. I almost don't even make it through the front stretch. I was pretty tanked by the time I got around. BKB's guy was flying by me at the end, and I was just doing everything I could to just hang on, but ended up making it. Definitely could not have gone another lap.
Well, definitely appreciate the honesty. You could have totally lied, and no one would have ever known. But final question, you're a senior rider. What is going to be the thing you miss most from being a Little 500 rider?
I'm going to miss the guys. I'm going to miss the team, hanging out with them, bonding with them. I mean, it took a lot to build this, a lot of work. You hang out with those guys a ton. All those guys are my best friends. I'm going to miss them the most.
Well, Nick, thanks for your time. Once again, Nick Torrance from SIGEP, helping bring their second Little 5 championship home to that fraternity. Sarah and Josie, let's send it back to you guys at the news desk.
The women's Little 500 champions Kappa Alpha Theta set a new record with 6 total wins. Katie Lazinski has more.
Going into the 28th annual Little 500, the traditions were held true and the beautiful weather ensured a great race. Returning champions Kappa Alpha Theta were once again victorious here at Bill Armstrong Stadium. The theme of the day was yellow, as the team were sporting those jerseys and had to finish under a yellow caution flag due to a lap 98 crash.
It was exactly what we wanted. I think we executed it just how we wanted it to. It felt right, and we were prepared. We were really prepared for that. No big surprises, but we were so happy, and it was unreal to finally ride in Little 5 officially.
We definitely pushed the pace from 80 on, and we tried to just kind of pull forward and make sure everyone else could. And then from that point on, we just knew we had the fastest girl on the track, so when it came down to the sprint, we were confident. This is Theta's 6th overall win in their history, and the legacy will stay true in their house.
Keep the title. It's going to be crazy to wear yellow again next year. We love it. It was great this year, and earning the white jersey meant so much to us. As a rookie, it's something that I earned, and now I've officially earned the jersey I got to wear. So it really feels great, and it all paid off today.
From Bill Armstrong Stadium, I'm Katie Lazinski, Hoosier Sports Night.
Liz Lieberman of Kappa Alpha Theta is now here in studio to talk about winning the team's 6th title of the Little 500. Katie Lazinski is now joined by Liz. Katie?
Thank you, Sarah. Like she said, I'm joined with Liz Lieberman. She was a senior rider for Kappa Alpha Theta who won their 6th total Little 500 championship this Friday, and that's the most out of the history of Little 500.
Yep.
How did it feel to be the one that crossed the finish line?
Honestly, amazing. Ever since the race last year, it's the only thing I've thought about, and it's the only thing that's kind of kept me going. So I've thought about that moment. It was a little different than I had imagined it in my head and how it worked out, but it was honestly one of the most incredible feelings. I won't ever forget it.
Yeah, and one of the things that some of the riders were a little bit disappointed in was that the race finished underneath a yellow caution flag. You guys were neck and neck with Phoenix before that.
Mm-hmm.
When the yellow flag went out, what were you thinking? What was in your head? Were you disappointed with the finish? Or?
You know what? I mean, I can't say I'm disappointed. We obviously came in first, but yeah, a little bit. It's hard. It's hard when it ends on a yellow flag. It's like, what would have happened? Would the places have been the same? What the sprint obviously would have been exciting to watch. So I think a little bit of disappointment just from the fact that it happens though, and it's a bike race, and that, like I said the other day, it's bicycle racing. It happens.
Yeah. So lastly, you are the only senior that was on the race or that was on the team this year.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to kind of leave for the girls, leave for the house for next year?
I just think that, as being an alumni and graduating, the girls kind of have an idea and a reputation to uphold, and I think leaving them with 3 solid riders that are returning and just being there on race day and getting to experience that, it was so cool watching them kind of fall in love with Little 5. There's so much culture and tradition behind it. So just continuing motivating themselves and getting ready to wear yellow again on race day next year.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was a great finish to watch, even though it was under yellow. You guys did a really good job. Thank you again to Liz, and congratulations to your whole Theta team.
Thank you so much.
Back to you guys at the desk.
The Black Key Bulls fell just short of defending their Little 500 crown on Sunday by finishing in 2nd. Tyler Ratz was at the track and has more on the team's outlook on their performance.
0.024 seconds. That's the amount of time that stood between the Black Key Bulls and a second straight Little 500 championship. Looking to become only the 5th team in Little 500 history to win back-to-back racing titles, the team came up just a little bit short, finishing second to Sigma Phi Epsilon. With heavy hearts following the tragic death of Indiana senior Hannah Wilson, all of the teams sported purple and green tape on their bikes in her honor. Despite being disappointed in their second place finish, the Black Key Bulls were quick to point out that what was most important was that all of the riders remained safe.
Yeah, I think it was a good decision to move it today. The track was great. It was really safe. I don't think there was a lot of crashes, and I don't think there was any bad crashes. So that's awesome. I mean, that's really important. I'd rather lose the race and not and have everybody be safe than win and have people go to the hospital.
Wearing the yellow jerseys given to the defending champions and starting the race in 6th place, the Bulls quickly realized that strategy alone would not be enough in the Little 500.
Each race is just entirely different from the year before and the other race. I mean, you can compare them, but it's not the same exact race over and over again like a 4x4 format. Just there are so many different things going into it that just make the race completely different from any other race.
The team was able to lead a good portion of the race, but a late push by Sigma Phi Epsilon left the Bulls in 2nd place. After the race, however, the team discussed how much they had to be proud of from the season.
Sig Up Sprinter played it perfectly. He did amazing. And our Spencer, he was this close, but we can't judge it off this race how successful the season was.
The Black Key Bulls do plan to reward themselves with a few weeks off, but they know that once summer comes, they have to get right back to training in preparation for next year's Little 500 race. From Bill Armstrong Stadium, I'm Tyler Ratz, Hoosier Sports Night.
Going head-to-head with Theta during the women's race was Phoenix. They were new on the scene this year and definitely created a name for themselves, finishing second after the yellow caution at the end of the race.
We worked hard all year with Tabitha, Lauren, and Claire and everything together right here. We worked all year for this. It really won in our hearts. I mean, the only thing I'm disappointed about is that it ended up under yellow. But everything else, I am so incredibly proud. When this started, I didn't even know if I could race this year. And I love this team. That's all I really care about is that this team is now my family. And we did so well today, and we had a blast.
On Sunday, Yogi Farrell announced that he will return for his senior year at Indiana University. Farrell was 6th in scoring this past season in the Big Ten with 16.3 points per game and finished 4th in assists. After coming off an NCAA tournament bid last season and returning all starters from last year, the Hoosiers have been a consensus top 15 team in most 2015-2016 preseason polls.
After picking up a win against Notre Dame in Indianapolis last Tuesday, IU baseball hosted Michigan State for a weekend series. The Hoosiers were victorious with a balanced effort on Friday after the team recorded 15 hits. However, the Spartans won 2 games on Sunday's doubleheader, which dropped IU to a 6-10 Big Ten record.
The softball team hosted the Purdue Boilermakers for a Wednesday doubleheader this past week after their 2-game series was postponed earlier this month. IU won the first game with a walk-off homer from freshman Mina Fulton, but then lost the second matchup by 1 point. Over the weekend, the Hoosiers won 2 out of 3 contests as the Michigan State Spartans visited Bloomington. IU scored a season-high 16 runs in the first game and another 10 runs on Sunday for Senior Day at Andy Moore Field. The team is currently 7-11 in conference play as they wrap up their regular season this weekend in Columbus.
The IU men's and women's golf team competed in the Big Ten Championship on Friday through Sunday. The men finished in 12th place, while the women's team ended 11th. Senior Elizabeth Tong was selected to compete as an individual in the NCAA Women's Golf Regional at Notre Dame on May 7th. Sean Nash now joins us again for our final hot takes of the year. Thanks for coming back in, Sean.
Yeah, I'm ready. I got some great questions lined up for you guys.
Let's hear them.
Well, you guys were talking about Yogi Farrell just a few minutes ago. He announced he's coming back. So I want your very early predictions on the IU basketball season. Sarah, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Yogi Farrell obviously coming back is huge for this team, brings more leadership. Thomas Bryant coming in is really exciting. But at the same time, you have to think, sure, they might do well in Big Ten, but once you get to the NCAA, how will they fare? Will Coach Crean be able to coach them past the Sweet 16? He couldn't do that with the #1 team in the nation. and I don't think they're even going to be the 1 seed, obviously. So I'm going to have to say, yeah, they're going to do better than this year, but not necessarily make a real run for it come tournament time.
I think I'm going to have to go with the opposite. I think IU will be able to make a run. Sarah mentioned Thomas Bryant, Yogi coming back. I think they still will probably finish second in the Big Ten to Maryland. I think Maryland returns too much. And the Big Ten is loaded, but I think IU has the greatest number of returning players, so I think that's going to be huge for them as far as experience with these teams.
Of course, there's an outside chance still that Thon Maker may end up in an IU uniform, so I'm going to go with Josie. I think this team's capable of going on a run. Now, the other night on ESPN2, there were esports on. The Heroes of the Dorm, actually IU had a team that ran all the way through to the Elite Eight before losing to Illinois' team. But there was a huge uproar on whether esports should be aired on ESPN. So, Josie, I'll let you start with this one. Are you okay with video games being shown on TV?
I absolutely am okay. I watched part of that. I thought the announcers did a phenomenal job of making it actually exciting. I'm not a video game player myself, nor do I like to sit in someone's basement and watch people play video games, but the way the announcers made it sound, they were really calling the action. I actually understood what was going on. So I think there definitely is a spot too, and especially with us as sports media people going into the field looking for jobs, I think this only opens up more job opportunities, so I'm all for that.
I'm going to have to disagree. It's really cool, don't get me wrong, but it's playoff season, and on ESPN2, I want to see, analysts talking about, the series, and there might be a time for that, maybe in the summer in the dead of baseball season when they have, more spots open, but I'm going to have to disagree on that one.
I have a little bit of a confession. I'm a huge video game nerd, so...
Really?
Yeah. Josie's...
I would have guessed.
Josie is killing the core at this point. She's leading 2-0. You're in trouble
This
right
one's
now.
2 points. This next one has to be 2
I'll make
points.
it 3. I'll make it 3, so I'll give you a chance. Either that or you're going to get blown out 5-0. So,
I'll take that risk.
So both the NHL and NBA playoffs are going on. Sarah, I'll let you even start first with this one. Which playoff has been better so far?
Well, as you both know, I'm definitely biased towards the NHL, so I'm going to have to take the NHL in this one. Game 6s, Game 7s, that's what you want to see with these series with the best teams in the NHL. I think they're lining up for a great rest of the playoff run. And now Kevin Love's out of the NBA playoffs, so, well, for this series at least. So, that really kills...
Right in the heart. Right in the heart.
So that really kills me watching it, to be completely honest with you. So I'm going to have to go NHL with this one.
Even though the NHL, yes, has been exciting, and there's Game 6s and Game 7s, and no one's getting swept really, but I have to go with the NBA. This is the time of the year you watch the NBA because this is when the superstars shine their brightest. The Spurs and the Clippers tying it up, those are 2 powerhouse teams. Then, even though Kevin Love is out, you still have LeBron James trying to bring his first championship to his hometown. And so I just think the superstars of the NBA, this is their time to shine, so you can't not watch them.
Plot twist, you're both wrong. Both playoffs are terrible. 16 teams making both more than half the leagues, and I don't need 7 games in every single series. I'm sorry. So
Sean wins this hot take, because that's 3 points.
So that's 3 points for me, and yes, I am going to take, as the host for the first time, winning hot takes.
Okay, wow. There's not much else to say except from all of us here at iOS TV Sports, thanks for an amazing, amazing year. Josie Janavicius, Sean Nash, Katie Lazinski, who joined us in studio earlier, and Alex Barnard, our fabulous technical director. For the last time, follow us on Twitter and Facebook at iOS TV Sports. We will still be tweeting out anything that may come up. I don't know, for baseball, when baseball continues after the school year ends. For the last time, thank you for watching. Have a great summer.